32 years ago, a 32-year-old pilot left his wife and his newborn son at home for what was supposed to be just another day at work. He met the other 5 members of the crew in the evening, and they all boarded the plane for their last time. Nobody expected to end up here. But this was the risk they all were willing to take, because that risk was a part of their job. That's what you sign up for when you choose to make testing new aircrafts your profession. This cemetery is full of people who took the risk. This cemetery is full of people who love the sky. My mom once asked me, "You're making those stupid YouTube movies anyway. Why don't you make one about your father?" Truth be told, I don't know much about my father. He died when I was 7 months old, and his father, who taught him how to be a pilot, died when I was only 13. There was no one out there to tell me about him, so it all became just snippets of my memory. Memory of a 32-year-old man looking at his father's grave and asking the stone, "Did I just outlive you? So what do I do now?" They were supposed to fly over the Azov Sea in the night and test some new equipment. That equipment was installed in a medium-sized plane Antonov 26K, approximately 25 meters long. That kind of a plane normally is piloted by 2 people, but the equipment occupied the second pilot's seat. It was an ordinary test, so there was no real need for a second pilot. The investigation came to a conclusion that the plane ran into a goose that was flying towards the plane from the opposite direction. The bird's body smashed the windshield and destroyed the front lantern of the plane. The captain died first. There was no one to save the plane at a low altitude over the night sea. When I was 12 years old, I asked my grandfather, a seasoned pilot, "Can a relatively small bird really crash a big plane just like that?" He let me know that he believed it could be an accident with a friendly Soviet missile. Scenes like these have already happened, even with the passenger planes. Malaysian Boeing 777 over Ukraine in 2014, Ukrainian Boeing 737 over Iran in 2020, Korean Boeing 747 over Russian Sakhalin in 1983. When something like this happens with a test crew, it's much easier for everyone in charge to just cover the trails and never talk about it again. So here they are, and the official reason they are where they are will always be a goose. I didn't know him, but because of him I always knew my due date. I was always aware that life is short. I believe that man should establish himself before 30, because later it will be too late. Live fast, die young. There's nothing really left for a man to do after 30. Whatever happens after 30 is completely irrelevant. That's what I believed in all my life. Since I left college, it was a short but relatively fun life. It had its bad days, it had its good days. And then I suddenly turned 30. I will always remember that day. I'm laying down in hot springs in Thailand, looking at the sky, realizing that it's over for me. Getting ready to die. Yes, I got ready to die. I didn't see any reason to continue after my due date expired. There was only one little problem with it. Nothing happened. Life just completely ignored my expectations and continued. And I didn't know what to do. I had no idea how to handle something I was never prepared for. I was completely lost. When you're lost and not accountable for your own decisions, be sure, sooner or later somebody's gonna make them for you. So 2.5 years have passed since that day, in a long and strange blur. And now we both are here, at the same age. The only difference is that he has left a child in the world and passed the torch. So I guess he has a right to ask his son now, "Who have you become with the same time given? What would you leave in this world if today was time to board for your last flight?" And I have no answer for him. All I can do is turn away in shame. If you are here looking for answers for these questions, I'm sorry, I don't have any. It's midlife crisis at its finest. I guess it should happen to everyone. The only thing I know is our bodies are slowly deteriorating, and we'd better find those answers before it's too late. These people are here because they had their answer. They just love the sky.